welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Karen.
Hello everybody, I am Shane and we are looking at the colorful world of animal metaphors. Part 2.
That's right.
Part 1, we found out what a metaphor is and we learned a couple of animal metaphors. I think it's probably important because people get confused between a metaphor and a simile.
Because both of them are comparisons.
Yeah.
But an easy way to remember is that a simile is a comparison using like or as. Whereas metaphors are comparisons without using like or as.
Basically speaking, that's all it comes down to. Yeah.
So do you know any popular similes that people often use?
You could say, today I was busy as a bee.
Ooh, or swim like a fish.
Oh, yeah. Or they were fighting like cats and dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or you're as brave as a lion.
Oh, I guess I am as brave as a lion.
So these are some popular similes, but metaphors, some of the other popular ones would be time is money.
How about knowledge is power?
Oh, that's a really popular one too, because the more you know, the more powerful you are.
That's right. Okay, so now that we have the difference between similes and metaphors, why don't we move on to some more animal metaphors?
All right, let's go.
White elephant and black jellyfish are also interesting. White elephant refers to something that is more trouble or more costly than it's worth. Historically, rare white elephants were highly valued, but also expensive to care for. Therefore, this metaphor is used for objects or projects that are not useful and become an expensive burden.
So today we're looking at part 2 of the colorful world of animal metaphors. So looking at this word colorful, we're actually not just talking about animal metaphors, but we're also talking about their colors as well.
If you've been paying attention, you'll notice that, like we had black swan before, and we had a gray rhino. So those were our first two that we went after. So now we're going to be looking at white elephant and black jellyfish.
Ooh, okay, so let's look at white elephant first.
Okay, well, white elephant and black jellyfish are also interesting. White elephant refers to something that is more trouble or more costly than it's worth.
Okay. So we're looking at this word here, costly, and that is an adjective. Basically, it just means of great price or value, or you could say expensive. For example, you could say last year's vacation was very costly, so this year we need to save money. Okay, so we're talking about something with great value, right?
Yeah, I could also say something's expensive, right? If it's costly, that would be a synonym.
Exactly, or pricey, sometimes we would say.
Pricey, that's a good one too.
Okay, well, let's find out why.
Okay.
Historically, rare white elephants were highly valued, but also expensive to care for. So I think it's because they are very, very rare. That means you don't get to see them very, very often.
Right.
And that's why they were highly valued. Everyone looked at them like, wow, they're so precious. And
that's usually what makes things valuable is how rare they are, right?
Exactly. And also very expensive to care for. So maybe it costs a lot of money to take care of them.
It was costly to care for.
Very
Pricey.
good. Therefore, this metaphor is used for objects or projects that are not useful and become an expensive burden. Oh, okay.
I have to say that I've come across some of those types of projects before.
Really?
Doing work where you're just like, this is just not worth it. This is such a pain in the neck.
And it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, and then you're poor. Okay, what is a burden? Now, a burden is a noun. It's a duty, responsibility, etc. that causes worry, difficulty, or you need hard work.
That's right.
Right? So, for example, Esme's job became a burden when she had to work extra hours.
Became a burden. So that means maybe before she had to work extra hours, she was feeling fine.
Yeah.
But when she started working extra and more hours, and then maybe she felt so exhausted and tired, it was a burden.
Precisely. Okay, why don't we take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天的课程介绍了黑天鹅、灰犀牛这两个动物隐喻，今天要来看另外两个是白象和黑水母。好，那白象 （white elephant） 它是指不值得花这么多功夫或这么多钱的东西。在历史上啊，稀有的白象受到高度重视，但是它们照顾起来也很昂贵，因此这个隐喻被用来指那种没路用而且还变成昂贵负担的物品或是计划。好，单字 costly 它是形容昂贵的、价格高的或是代价大的。老师们有提到 costly 的同义字是 expensive 或者是 pricey， 它们都可以形容昂贵的。那补充一下 synonym 这个字就表示同义字，它是拼作 synonym。好，下一个单字 burden 它表示负担、负荷。好，那接着回到课文中。
Black jellyfish is a newer metaphor, but it's equally interesting. It describes a problem that seems minor or harmless, but has hidden dangers. The term refers to a jellyfish bloom. One jellyfish on its own seems pretty harmless, but jellyfish blooms can cause a lot of problems and have even been known to shut down power plants by the coast. Thus, a black jellyfish situation is one where small changes lead to a large impact, but the true dangers of the changes were not immediately obvious. Animal metaphors help us picture and understand different concepts. By learning about their meanings, we can come to grips with complicated ideas and become aware of possible dangers or difficulties.
Welcome back, everybody. So before the break, we were looking at white elephant. That just means something that is more hassle or more costly than it is worth, right? So now we're going to be moving on to black jellyfish.
Ooh, I've never heard of this one before.
I haven't heard of this one either. So why don't you tell us about black jellyfish?
All right, okay. Black jellyfish is a newer metaphor, but it's equally interesting. Okay. When you say equally interesting, you're saying that it's just as interesting as the other animal metaphors.
Right.
Equal. It describes a problem that seems minor or harmless, but has hidden dangers. Oh, so if you have a problem that seems minor, that means it's not so serious or harmless, and it has hidden dangers. So what's harmless? That's an adjective. Basically, it just means free from danger or the risk of harm. For example, you could say, don't worry, the snake is harmless, so you can come closer.
Oh, I don't trust that snake. I think I'm going to stay away. So continuing, the term refers to a jellyfish bloom. One jellyfish on its own seems pretty harmless, but jellyfish blooms can cause a lot of problems and have even been known to shut down power plants by the coast.
Wow, I have never heard of that before.
So a bloom would just be like probably thousands and thousands of jellyfish all together.
And that is the hidden danger, right? If just one, it's quite safe. But if you have the jellyfish bloom, then you might be in trouble.
There's hidden dangers.
Exactly. They can shut down the power plants.
Wow.
Okay, thus a black jellyfish situation is one where small changes lead to a large impact. But the true dangers of the changes were not immediately obvious because maybe people are not aware. If you just have one, people are just thinking, it's only one. We don't need to worry about it. But little do they know.
When
you have so many.
It's kind of, I can imagine something like, like you see like a cockroach.
Exactly.
Right? And you think, oh, that's no big deal, it's just one cockroach. But usually where you see one cockroach, there's lots of cockroaches, hiding away. So you need to take care of that situation.
So what is situation? Well, that is a noun. You use situation to refer generally to what is happening in a particular place at a particular time, or to refer to what is happening to you. So for example, you could say, I don't have much money, so I'm in quite a difficult situation. Oh no, that means I am in trouble, right? If you're in a difficult situation.
Let me give you some money immediately.
Thank you so much. You are so nice.
I don't have any money. Sorry. So I can't help you immediately, but I'll give you some more money later. So immediately means without delay. But immediately could also mean like really close to something else. So for example, you can say, the man sitting immediately to my right kept talking during the play.
So in this situation, that means it's next to, right?
Yes, and in our reading, it just means right away.
Exactly.
It's not obvious right away. Okay, so continuing the reading, animal metaphors help us picture and understand different concepts. So a concept is a thought or an idea. Yes.
Okay, so it helps us understand these animal metaphors, right? Okay, so by learning about their meanings, we can come to grips with complicated ideas and become aware of possible dangers or difficulties. Okay, so complicated ideas. If you use the word complicated, that means it has so many parts or aspects that is difficult to understand or deal with, right?
Right, okay. And we have a vocabulary word, aware, which is an adjective. It just means knowing or realizing something. So for example, before you get a dog, you should be aware of how to take care of it.
Okay. Well, we have a question for everyone. Can you think of any other common metaphors? What do they mean? Can you think of some?
Yeah, so one would be that life is a journey.
I like that one. And what does that mean?
So life is a journey. It just means that, like, we know a journey just means like a long trip, right?
Yes.
But usually the idea along a journey is that lots of interesting things will happen to you. So we just think of life, it's lots of interesting things happen during life. Life is a journey.
Oh, I like that one.
Or I could think of an animal one as happy as a clam.
As happy as a clam. Does that just mean that you're very, very happy?
It means you're very happy.
But are clams very happy?
I don't know. I don't know where this comes from, but it is a metaphor.
That's right.
Can you think of any?
Oh, I know one. Oh, I'm so hungry, I can eat a horse.
To eat a horse, right. That just means that you are really, really hungry.
Exactly. It doesn't really mean that I can eat a horse.
Well, these have been very colorful animal metaphors and very interesting. I know I learned something. How about you?
Of course I did. I hope you guys really enjoyed today's lesson. And that's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
刚 刚刚说 white elephant 是指不值得花这么多功夫或这么多钱的东西，那它们造成了许多麻烦又很花钱。Shane 老师这时候用到 hassle 这个字 H-A-S-S-L-E， hassle 可以指麻烦，它是当名词。下一个要介绍的是比较新的动物隐喻，黑水母 black jellyfish。它描述一个看似轻微或是无害，却有隐藏危险的问题。那这个用语指的是水母大规模繁殖的现象。一只水母看起来相当无害，可是水母爆发的现象却可能造成许多问题，甚至可以导致沿海发电厂停机。因此黑水母的情况就是在描述小变化造成巨大影响，但是这种变化真正的危险在之前却并不是显而易见的。好，课文最后提到，动物隐喻帮助我们想象、理解不同的概念，透过了解它们的含义，我们可以理解复杂的想法，并且意识到可能的危险或是困难。好，单字 harmless 它是形容无害的，不会造成伤害的。situation 它是指情况、形式或是局面。Immediately 这个副词则表示立刻、马上、即刻，它也可以描述距离或时间上是紧接着什么的。再来看到 aware， 它是形容察觉的、意识到的、有什么什么意识的。那么 be aware of， 它可以表达知道、意识到某事物的存在。这边3个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是 shut down， 它是指说停止运作，使什么停止运作、歇业或是停业，它可以当及物或不及物用。那么 shut 三态同形，例如 The computer suddenly shut down for no reason， 电脑突然无缘无故关机了。好，那第二个重点是关系副词的用法。关系副词 where 和 when 分别用来修饰或补述说明，表示地点局势或是表示时间的先行词。那我们来看第一个是限定用法，这时候 where 或是 when 引导的形容词子句用来限定所指的对象，那么 where 或是 when 的前面不加逗号。例如 She still remembers the day when she first met her husband。她还记得她初次见到她老公的那一天，那这边是用关系子句来限定 the day 的范围。好，第二个是非限定用法 ，where 跟 when 所引导的形容词子句用来补述说明或是描述先行词，这时候 where 或是 when 的前面要加逗号。例如 They have decided to move to Taipei where their son lives。那这时候呢，这个关系子句是用来描述台北做补充说明，意思就是他们决定搬到台北，他们的儿子住在那里。好，第三个重点是 come to grips with 加名词，这是表达开始理解并着手处理什么什么，后面通常会接某一种局面或是问题。那么 come 也可以写成 get。至于 grip 当名词，它是指紧握、理解或是控制。例如 This book can help you get to grips with English grammar。这本书可以帮助你理解英文文法，帮助你掌握它。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
White elephant and black jellyfish are also interesting. White elephant refers to something that is more trouble or more costly than it's worth. Historically, rare white elephants were highly valued, but also expensive to care for. Therefore, this metaphor is used for objects or projects that are not useful and become an expensive burden. Black jellyfish is a newer metaphor, but it's equally interesting. It describes a problem that seems minor or harmless, but has hidden dangers. The term refers to a jellyfish bloom. One jellyfish on its own seems pretty harmless, but jellyfish blooms can cause a lot of problems and have even been known to shut down power plants by the coast. Thus, a black jellyfish situation is one where small changes lead to a large impact, but the true dangers of the changes were not immediately obvious. Animal metaphors help us picture and understand different concepts. By learning about their meanings, we can come to grips with complicated ideas and become aware of possible dangers or difficulties.
Matsu is one of Taiwan's outlying islands, where you can see blue tears and Formosan sika deer. Local specialties like aged liquor, Matsu biscuits, and kampiang, are must-buy items. If you're curious about the history and culture of Matsu, a visit to the Matsu Folk Culture Museum is a great way to dive deep into the island's past. Matsu Folk Culture Museum is a great place to learn about the history of Matsu. The four-story building is located on Nangan Island. It is a great example of Matsu and Eastern Fujian-style buildings. The ground floor of the museum shows prehistory of Matsu in Taiwan. You can learn about how people came to Matsu in Taiwan here. The upper floors focus on farming, fishing, and the lifestyle of Matsu people. The museum has displayed many objects to teach people about Matsu. Learn about the history of Matsu at Matsu Folk Culture Museum. The museum houses numerous precious artifacts and photos, with various exhibits that vividly simulate local life. Through pictures, 3D displays, artifacts, and multimedia presentations, it showcases archaeological sites, local industries, folk beliefs, architecture, and more. When exploring Matsu's attractions, be sure to set aside time to visit the museum and glimpse the region's unique cultural heritage.